Welcome. Today we're exploring a major shift in Black America, people leaving historic cities for new opportunities. It's a modern migration, driven by hopes, dreams, and tough realities. We'll look at the data, but more importantly, we'll dig into the reasons behind these moves. This isn't just about travel trends, it's about families, communities, and the search for a better life. What pushes someone to leave a city their family's called home for generations? We'll examine economic pressures, changing neighborhoods, and the personal journeys reshaping America's map. Let's begin with a city that's long been central to Black history, but now faces serious challenges. Our first stop is Chicago, Illinois, a city of broad shoulders known for its architecture, its vibrant culture, and its deep dish pizza. But beyond the iconic landmarks, Chicago holds a significant place in history, a city woven into the Black American story. It was a destination for many during the Great Migration, once a beacon of opportunity, a place where dreams could be realized through hard work and determination. Chicago now sees Black residents leaving in record numbers, a stark contrast to its past. The reason? The ever-increasing cost of living. Rising rents, property taxes that seem to climb higher every year, and everyday expenses are squeezing families out, making it harder and harder to make ends meet. Stable manufacturing jobs have vanished, leaving a void in the community. And new opportunities in tech and finance, while promising, often feel out of reach for many residents. Many are drawn to southern cities like Houston or Dallas, seeking a fresh start. Where life is more affordable, the job market is expanding, and opportunities are more accessible. Leaving isn't easy. It's a difficult decision filled with mixed emotions. It means saying goodbye to roots, community ties that have been nurtured for years, and a shared history. But for many, it's a necessary step toward stability, a chance to build a more secure future, and a better future for their families, a future where they can thrive and prosper. As people go, neighborhoods like Bronzeville and the South Side, historic centers of Black culture, lose the culture and vibrancy built over generations, the unique character that defined them. The exodus is changing Chicago's soul, altering its social fabric, raising tough questions about who the city is really for and who gets to benefit from its growth. It's not about falling out of love with Chicago. The city remains in their hearts. It's about survival, making the difficult choice to prioritize their well-being. The city's greatness depends on its ability to provide for all its residents, ensuring everyone has a chance to succeed. When that's no longer possible, when opportunities dwindle, people are forced to look elsewhere for a better life. The story of Chicago is a powerful reminder, a cautionary tale of what can happen when economic forces displace communities. A city's true strength is its people, their resilience, and their contributions. As Black Chicagoans leave, they carry their resilience and dreams to new places, enriching those communities with their experiences. The Windy City's changing winds are reshaping the future of Black America, scattering its seeds across the nation. Next, we head to another city shaped by migration and industry, Detroit, a city with its own unique story of transformation. Detroit, Michigan, Motor City, once built the Black middle class with auto industry jobs and affordable homes. But as the auto industry declined, so did opportunity. New investments downtown haven't reached many Black families, who face limited job prospects and struggling schools. The choice: stay loyal to a city full of history, or move to places like Atlanta or Charlotte for better jobs and education. Unlike Chicago, Detroit's migration is less about cost and more about opportunity. People seek cities with diverse economies and real pathways to success. Every family that leaves is a blow to Detroit's neighborhoods and tax base, making recovery harder. The dream that brought generations to Detroit is still alive, but for many, it now has a new address. They take Detroit's resilience with them, hoping to build a better future elsewhere. The Motor City's new road is paved with both loss and hope. Now, let's head west to a city where the cost of living is the main driver of change. Welcome to Los Angeles. Los Angeles, California. A sprawling metropolis, a land of sunshine, and a beacon of dreams for generations. Long a symbol of Black culture and ambition, a place where community thrived and history was made, is now losing Black residents at a rapid pace. Families who have called this place home for decades are being forced to make difficult choices. The reason is clear. The forces at play are undeniable. The cost of living is sky high, reaching levels that are simply unsustainable for many. With million-dollar homes and unaffordable rents, the dream of homeownership feels increasingly out of reach. Gentrification is transforming neighborhoods like Leimert Park, changing the very fabric of the community. And Inglewood, once bastions of Black culture, are now seeing rapid development and displacement, pushing out longtime residents, forcing them to seek more affordable pastures. New developments like Sophie Stadium, a symbol of progress and entertainment, have driven up property values and taxes, creating an economic burden for those who have lived here for generations, displacing the very communities that gave LA its identity. The heart and soul of the city are slowly being eroded. Many are cashing out and moving to more affordable cities in Nevada, seeking a fresh start. Arizona, with its promise of lower costs and new opportunities. Or Texas, where the cost of living offers a chance at a more comfortable life. Trading the LA lifestyle for financial stability. A difficult choice, but one that many feel they must make. This migration is a profound cultural loss, leaving a void in the city's vibrant tapestry. Artists, entrepreneurs, and community leaders are leaving, taking their talents and contributions elsewhere, taking the city's soul with them. The streets feel quieter, the cultural spaces emptier. The California dream has become a paradox, a cruel irony for those who helped build it. Success has made the city unlivable for many who built it. The very people who contributed to its growth are now being priced out. For Black Angelenos, dreams are now measured against harsh economic realities. The promise of opportunity is overshadowed by the struggle to survive. As they leave, the city's unique culture fades, losing its distinctive flavor and character, replaced by something less vibrant and more exclusive. A homogenization of culture, where community is replaced by commerce. The story of LA is a warning about the limits of opportunity when the cost of living becomes unbearable. A cautionary tale for cities across the nation. Next, we travel across the country to another city where the squeeze is just as real. New York. A city with its own unique challenges and stories of resilience. New York City, once a beacon, a magnet drawing Black families from across the nation, all seeking opportunity and a chance at a better life. But now, the city that never sleeps is increasingly pushing many of those same families out, forcing them to seek greener pastures elsewhere. The primary culprit? Relentless, ever-increasing housing costs that seem to defy gravity. For many, the dream of homeownership has become an impossible fantasy, completely out of reach. And even the simple act of renting a decent place to live has become a monumental struggle, a constant source of stress and anxiety. People find themselves working multiple jobs, juggling responsibilities just to make ends meet. All this just to afford tiny, cramped apartments that offer little in the way of comfort or space. This relentless grind leaves little time or money to actually enjoy the vibrant city they're working so hard to live in. The search for a more balanced and affordable life increasingly leads many to the quieter, more spacious suburbs. And then, further south, drawn by the promise of lower costs and new opportunities, to states like Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Florida. Historic Black neighborhoods like Harlem are rapidly gentrifying, transforming before our very eyes. Historic brownstones are now selling for millions of dollars, attracting wealthy newcomers. And, tragically, longtime residents are being priced out, forced to leave the communities they helped build. The very cultural fabric of New York is changing, irrevocably altered as Black families pack their bags and leave, taking with them the unique energy, the rich history, and the boundless creativity that has always defined the city's character. New York's diversity has always been its greatest strength, its calling card to the world. But as more and more people are priced out, the city risks losing its soul, its unique identity. The Big Apple's story is becoming a cautionary tale for cities everywhere. When unchecked success drives out the very people who built a city's character and gave it its unique flavor, ultimately, everyone loses. For many, the relentless hustle is simply no longer worth the exorbitant price of admission. And so, the journey continues south, towards new horizons, to a city that was once hailed as the promised land, a new mecca for Black families seeking opportunity, Atlanta. Atlanta, Georgia, the Black Mecca, has long been a destination for those seeking opportunity and community. But Atlanta's success has brought its own challenges: rapid growth, rising housing costs, and worsening traffic. The city's affordability is fading, and some Black residents are now moving out to suburbs or smaller southern cities like Charlotte and Nashville. Atlanta's cultural influence is spreading, but the sense of a unified Black Mecca is becoming more diffuse. The cycle is clear. Cities become havens, grow, and eventually face the same pressures that once drove people away from other places. Atlanta's story shows that the search for home is ongoing, a journey, not a destination. For some, Atlanta is still the promised land. For others, it's time to move on. The city's evolution reflects the broader story of Black migration in America. Next, we visit a city where gentrification has transformed the landscape, Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C., once known as Chocolate City, has seen its Black majority disappear, driven by rapid gentrification. Historic neighborhoods like U Street and Shaw are now home to million-dollar row houses and new residents, while longtime Black families are pushed out. Go-go music is silenced, churches are sold, and the culture that defined D.C. is fading. Many displaced residents have rebuilt their communities in nearby suburbs like Prince George's County, Maryland. The loss isn't just economic, it's about belonging and identity. As familiar faces and businesses vanish, the city feels less like home. The political impact is real too. The Black voting bloc is diluted, changing local power dynamics. D.C. quote. S transformation is a stark example of how gentrification can erase cultural and political influence. While new communities thrive in the suburbs, the heart of Chocolate City is hollowed out. The story of D.C. echoes across urban America. Now, let's head to the Gulf Coast, where disaster and displacement have reshaped a city's soul, New Orleans. New Orleans, Louisiana, the Big Easy, has always been defined by its Black culture, from jazz to Mardi Gras. Hurricane Katrina in 2005 devastated Black neighborhoods, forcing mass displacement. Many never returned, and those who did found a city transformed by gentrification and rising costs. New investment brought wealthier residents, but longtime communities were pushed out of historic areas like Treme. Jobs in tourism and hospitality often don't pay enough to keep up with soaring rents. The fear, as culture bearers leave, New Orleans risks becoming a city for tourists, not for its own people. The fight to preserve the city's soul is ongoing, but for many, survival means leaving. New Orleans' story is one of resilience, but also of loss accelerated by disaster and economic pressure. The culture that made the city magical is at risk of fading away. As we close, let's reflect on what these journeys mean for the future. Our journey through these cities reveals a powerful story of change, resilience, and hope. Economic pressures, gentrification, and the search for a better life are reshaping Black America's map. These aren't just statistics. They're personal journeys and tough choices. The story of America is one of movement and transformation. If these stories resonate, join us as we continue to explore and connect. The search for home is universal and far from over. Thanks for watching. The journey continues.